David Benavidez was born on December 17, 1996, in Phoenix, Arizona, into a family where boxing was not just a sport but a way of life. His father, José Benavidez Sr., was a former professional boxer who had fought at a respectable level in Mexico before moving to the United States in search of a better future for his family. His mother, Magali Benavidez, played the role of emotional backbone and organizer, keeping the family united through years of struggle and sacrifice. David's older brother, José Benavidez Jr., was already on the path to becoming a professional boxer, and from a very young age, David was surrounded by gloves, punching bags, sweat, pain, and discipline. David grew up watching his brother train every day. While most children his age were playing video games after school, David was inside dusty boxing gyms, watching fighters grind through endless rounds of sparring. At the age of 3, he put on boxing gloves for the first time. At 5, he began formal training under his father. By 8, he was already sparring with older boys. From the very beginning, it was clear that David was different. He was naturally big for his age, with long arms, fast hands, and an aggressive instinct that could not be taught. The Benavidez family did not live a life of luxury. Money was always tight. José Sr. worked multiple jobs while training his sons. Many times, the family had to choose between paying bills and traveling for amateur tournaments. But they always chose boxing. The gym became their home. Discipline was strict. There were no shortcuts. David was taught that talent meant nothing without hard work, and that every punch thrown in training was a step closer to destiny. David's amateur career was short but impressive. He fought across the United States, winning national tournaments and quickly gaining attention as a teenage prodigy. His size, combined with speed and power, made him a nightmare for opponents his age. However, the Benavidez team made a bold decision. At just 16 years old, David turned professional in 2013, sacrificing the traditional long amateur career in order to grow faster in the professional ranks. It was a risky move, but one that would soon prove historic. As a teenager fighting grown men, David Benavidez had to grow up quickly. His early professional fights were held in small venues across Arizona and neighboring states. He fought frequently, sometimes every few weeks, building experience rapidly. With every fight, his confidence grew. His knockout victories piled up. Promoters started to whisper his name. Fans began calling him a future world champion. But early success also brought early temptation. Away from the strict structure of amateur boxing, young David struggled with discipline outside the ring. He enjoyed fame, food, and freedom. His natural size turned into excess weight. He was winning fights easily, but gradually losing control of his lifestyle. Still, his raw talent kept carrying him forward. By 2016, at only 19 years old, David Benavidez was already a highly ranked super-middleweight contender. His power was devastating. His combinations were fast and violent. His confidence bordered on fearlessness. In 2017, the opportunity of a lifetime arrived. David was set to fight Ronald Gavril for the vacant WBC super-middleweight world championship. On September 8, 2017, in Las Vegas, history was made. At just 20 years old, David Benavidez defeated Ronald Gavril by split decision after a dramatic 12-round war. With that victory, David became the youngest super-middleweight world champion in boxing history. The boxing world was stunned. A new star had arrived. But greatness often comes with heavy responsibility, and David was not yet ready to carry it. Just months after winning his world title, Benavidez tested positive for cocaine and was stripped of the WBC belt. The news shocked fans and devastated his family. Overnight, he went from world champion to cautionary tale. Many critics declared his career finished before it had truly begun. For David, this moment became the darkest chapter of his life. He admitted his mistakes publicly. He took full responsibility. Behind the scenes, his father sat with him and delivered the hardest truth: talent alone would not save him. Discipline had to change, or everything would be lost. David returned to the gym not as a champion, but as a man desperate to rebuild his life. He trained with rage, regret, and renewed purpose. Each day became a test of willpower. Slowly, his body transformed again into a lean fighting machine. His mind matured. The reckless teenager began turning into a disciplined warrior. In 2018, David was given a second chance to regain his WBC title in a rematch against Ronald Gavril. This time, there was no doubt. Benavidez dominated Gavril from the opening bell, knocking him down multiple times and winning by clear unanimous decision. At just 21, David Benavidez became a two-time world champion. His redemption was complete. However, fate had one more lesson waiting. In 2020, during the global pandemic, David again failed a weigh-in, this time due to being overweight. Once more, he was stripped of his WBC title without even stepping into the ring. Critics returned in full force. Many now questioned his professionalism permanently. Could David Benavidez ever fully control himself? This second fall could have destroyed him. But instead, it became the moment where David finally changed for good. He completely reinvented his lifestyle. Nutrition, conditioning, mental preparation, everything became professional. He cut out distractions. He devoted himself fully to the craft of boxing. From that point forward, the world would see a new version of David Benavidez. With no title and no shortcuts, David climbed back into contention the hardest way, through brutal fights. He tore through contender after contender, destroying experienced fighters with terrifying pressure. His performances became more disciplined, more intense, and more violent. The reckless boy was gone. In his place stood a focused destroyer. David's signature style became legendary. He fights with constant forward pressure, unleashing long combinations with frightening speed. His punches do not come in singles, they come in storms. Head, body, hooks, uppercuts all flowing without pause. Opponents rarely survive without taking serious punishment. His stamina allows him to maintain the same destructive pace from round 1 to round 12. His chin has proven nearly unbreakable. His heart has never failed. In 2022, David Benavidez faced David Lemieux in a WBC final eliminator that shocked the boxing world. From the opening round, Benavidez battered Lemieux with precision and fury. By the fifth round, Lemieux was defenseless, broken under the relentless assault. The referee finally stopped the fight in brutal fashion. The message was clear: David Benavidez was the most dangerous super middleweight in the world. Later that year, Benavidez fought Caleb Plant in a highly anticipated clash between two elite fighters. The fight was intense, emotional, and personal. For 6 rounds, Plant used movement and defense to survive. But pressure eventually breaks everything. From the 7th round onward, Benavidez dismantled Plant with sheer violence. By the 12th round, Plant was battered beyond recognition. Benavidez won by unanimous decision in one of the most brutal fights of the year. This victory solidified David Benavidez as the undeniable #1 contender in the super middleweight division. Fans began calling him the Mexican Monster, a perfectly fitting nickname for his frightening inside-the-ring persona. Yet, despite his dominance, one challenge continued to elude him: a fight with undisputed champion Canelo Alvarez. Fans demanded it. Experts demanded it. But politics, business, and timing repeatedly delayed the super fight. While waiting, Benavidez continued to destroy anyone placed in front of him, building a resume of fearsome victories. In 2023 and 2024, Benavidez moved up to light heavyweight, seeking even greater challenges. There, he proved that his power and pressure were just as lethal against bigger men. Each fight confirmed the same truth: weight would not stop the monster. Behind the brutal knockout machine, however, stands a deeply emotional man shaped by family, struggle, and redemption. David remains extremely close to his parents and his brother. The near tragedy of José Benavidez Sr's shooting in 2016 shook the family to its core. Doctors said José Jr. might never walk again, let alone box. Watching his brother fight through paralysis and return to the ring inspired David at a spiritual level. It reshaped his understanding of pain, gratitude, and perseverance. Today, David Benavidez is more mature than ever. He speaks openly about his past mistakes, not with shame, but with accountability. He regularly warns young fighters about the dangers of success without discipline. He trains not just for belts, but for legacy. Inside the ring, Benavidez is a nightmare. Outside the ring, he is a quiet, respectful, family-oriented man who understands how close he came to losing everything. His story is not just about power and knockouts, it is about falling, learning, and rising stronger every time. As he continues his quest for undisputed glory and multi-division greatness, one thing is certain: David Benavidez is not chasing fame anymore. He is chasing immortality. From a small gym in Arizona to the world's biggest arenas, from a fallen champion to a fearsome destroyer, the journey of David Benavidez is a story of raw talent, painful mistakes, and ultimate redemption. He is proof that true champions are not defined by how they rise, but by how they rise again after falling. And the most terrifying truth for the boxing world is this: the Mexican monster is still in his prime.